Good afternoon. Our next session is led by Ron Hankins, Vice President and Business Line Manager for Surface and Exploration Drilling Equipment at Epiroc. Ron has been at the forefront of integrating autonomous capabilities into surface equipment fleets, helping customers increase safety, uptime, and operational consistency. Joining him is Chuck Stilson, Senior Director of Engineering at Luckstone. Chuck brings the operator's perspective, where innovation meets reality. At Luckstone, one of the nation's largest family-owned aggregate producers, Chuck leads engineering initiatives that improve safety, performance, and sustainability across quarry operations. Together, Ron and Chuck will explore how autonomy in remote mining and quarry operations must be designed with people at the center. Please welcome them to the stage.
Hello, CONEXPO. Today we're going to talk about autonomy, but not the type that replaces people. We're going to talk about autonomy designed for people. The future of remote operations is not just about smart machines. It's about systems that empower people.
Today, you're going to hear not just from a technology and equipment provider, and not just from a producer and operator, rather from both sides of the equation. Because autonomy only works when design and operations are aligned. So the question isn't, can we automate? The question is, how do we design autonomy that makes our people safer, more capable, and more valuable?
Through 4 generations of family leadership, Luck has built communities for more than 100 years. The aggregates that we produce form the foundation for our roadways, our bridges, and buildings. But for Luck, it's always been about more than just the material. We're a people-first, values-based organization founded on the belief that our people are our purpose. Our mission is igniting human potential and to positively impact the lives of others. Leaning on our values of leadership, integrity, commitment, and creativity, we strive to be at the forefront of innovation. We view technology as a way to support our people, to enable them, to empower them. Our company's founder, Charles Luck Jr., said that if you take care of your people, they will take care of you. That's a philosophy that continues to permeate our values today, and an important premise in our current business proposition. When we talk about autonomy, it might sound like something new, but for Luck, this journey didn't start with a haul truck or a drill rig. It started many years ago, and this is a journey that we've been on that's driven by our people. Our company began in 1923 with the purchase of Sunnyside Granite Company in Richmond, Virginia. Fast forward to 1977, and that's when our automation journey began. Over 50 years ago, we designed and constructed our first automated plant that was able to run without anyone present. In 1990, we designed and constructed the industry's first self-serve stone loading system for our customers' trucks. And 2 years later, in 92, we developed state-of-the-art plant technology to enhance the way our plants ran. Today, at almost all of our operations, our plants continue running through the evening and well into the night after everyone has gone home to spend time with their families. These autonomous, automated plants, while they run, they help our business be efficient, make sure that we have product available for our customers, all while serving our own associates. They help us make sure that our associates have good work-life balance. In 2015, we started our first autonomous haul truck trial. That was a trial that lasted a couple of years. We had an autonomous truck running in our pit. We learned a lot through that experiment. Unfortunately, it did not succeed in the end. We did, however, learn a lot from the experience, and caught a glimpse of what was possible in the future. Fast forward 9 years to 2024, and Luck partnered with Caterpillar to bring autonomous haulage to the aggregates industry. We commissioned a fully autonomous haul fleet at our Bull Run site, a fleet that continues running autonomously today and has hauled more than 2.5 million tons to date. About 5 years ago, we started laying the foundation for autonomous drilling. This started with the use of 3D shot design for our blast planning and the implementation of hole navigation systems on our smart rock drills. I'm excited to say that we have now commissioned a fully autonomous Epiroc smart rock D65 drill at our Rockville site. This represents the first fully autonomous drill working in quarry operations worldwide. As I talk through the timeline, what you see is not a quick step into autonomy. You see a journey over time, a journey that's been powered by people willing to do hard work, willing to try new things, fail, try again, and lead through the experience. Automated plants, autonomous equipment, and integrated data are changing the way that we think about safety, performance, and making decisions in modern quarries. This video shows the delivery and setup of the Smart Rock autonomous drill at our Rockville site.
My name is Pat McGrath. I work for Luckstone. I am the pit services manager. We're at the Rockville Quarry this morning to commission a D65 for an autonomous trial in partnership with Epiroc. It's extremely exciting that the drill is here, and we're going to begin trialing it soon. We want to see what we learn from this technology. We've been embarking on semi-autonomous features with the drills for the last couple of years. We've been pairing that with 3D designed shot patterns that we've been exploring on our blasting side. We see this as the next logical step. The ability to remotely upload a shot to an autonomous drill and have an operator monitor one or more remotely and see what that does to empower our associates across the footprint of the company and allow everybody to grow. So we're building a network here at Rockville, and we see that as being a part of the future at all of our plants. So it's a nice component to this trial. We're going to start off by just running the drill through its paces manned for a couple of weeks, get some baseline productivity numbers. Then we'll step back to tele-remote operations, learn what we need to learn to make that work, and then step back to fully autonomous when everybody's comfortable with it. We're very excited to see just what we can get out of a fully autonomous D65.
I work for Epiroc on the technology and automation team. Today we're here to commission the autonomous D65 for Luckstone in Rockville, Virginia. Today we're installing the additional equipment needed to make the rig autonomous, which will include the lasers for obstacle detection, additional cameras for views around the rig. Then we're also going to begin the process of commissioning the base machine. This has been the first autonomous Smart Rock D65 in the U.S. Luckstone has agreed with Epiroc to allow us to gain access to data for future of getting operators away from the machine, out of dangerous areas, the ability to grow our offer of what we can do as a company and the capabilities of our machines.
So you may be thinking, why invest in this sort of technology? It is quite an investment. There's capital required for the equipment. There are ongoing autonomy-related data and infrastructure costs. There's change management associated with new workflows, new policies, procedures, training for operators. And don't forget the human element, because we're generally risk-averse creatures that don't like change, especially if it affects our livelihood. For Luck, the reason for why is in our mission, which is igniting human potential. We see investment in technology like this as a significant opportunity for our associates to grow and learn and be empowered in new ways. Second driver is labor availability. Today's workforce is increasingly looking for jobs that are interesting and challenging. They're looking for employers who will make sure that they're exposed to new technology that will challenge them, help them grow, and become all that they can be. We're not doing this trial, we're not engaged in this work with Epiroc during a time of a recession where we're looking to cut costs or cut jobs. Rather, we're actually doing this during a time of growth. And we're empowering our people to do more than has ever been possible before. We clearly state to our associates that nobody is going to lose their job as a result of this automation work that we're doing. They may move into new roles, they may gain new skills and do new things, but we hold on to our trusted and valued associates. There are positive safety implications with autonomous drilling, and I'm going to talk more about that in a few minutes. Efficiency is listed here as an outcome because for luck, in this trial, efficiency is not actually the main driver. It is, however, a seriously important outcome. If efficiency gains are not delivered, then this project will not ultimately be successful. All the investments that I mentioned earlier need to have a financial return. And if they do not, there are plenty of other projects waiting for funding. Health, as is listed here, refers to asset health and longevity. Autonomous equipment, by definition, operates under the guidelines set by the manufacturer. The equipment will not harm itself. Actually, the operating system makes sure that the components are protected, all while optimizing performance. And why did Luckstone decide that now is the right time to think about autonomous drilling? Well, to start, we've already done a lot of investment in our shot design and in our people, in our blasters. And today, we no longer are designing shots with tapes and burden poles and painted rocks. We utilize drones to create highly accurate 3D models. Our blasters have access to data and systems today that were never available before. We've outfitted our smart rock drills with GPS-enabled navigation systems. And when those two systems are paired, the 3D shot design with the smart rock drills, something really cool happens. The blaster is able to design the pattern in 3D, sends it directly to the drill, and then the driller can navigate the drill to the hole with precision. The machine then takes over, it drills the hole to the design depth at the design azimuth and angle with high accuracy. We decide to try this new technology setup at one of our sites at Spotsylvania in Virginia. And when we did that, we measured the results carefully for a number of months. What we saw was really compelling. On the drilling side, we were able to reduce sub-drilling because we had high confidence in the depth that every hole was drilled to. We also saw an increase in borehole utilization. That means we were drilling fewer holes for the same volume of rock. In blasting, we saw an improvement in powder factor and the associated reduction in blasting explosives costs. And then even though we were drilling fewer holes and using less explosive, we saw improved fragmentation. This was evidenced by reduced oversized rock production. Our haul truck load time was reduced. That's because the muck pile was easier to dig. We saw increased cycle time on our haul fleet and improved throughput at our crusher, our primary crusher. All this together led us to then use this technology across all of our operations so we could gain the benefit across our entire footprint. We felt like the next logical step then was to consider building on the gains that we've already seen through the use of autonomous drilling.
So at Epiroc, our mission is to drive the productivity and sustainability transformation within the mining and infrastructure industries. Epiroc is probably the oldest new company in the world, a startup with 153 years legacy, and that legacy helps shape how we approach innovation today. As Chuck shared Luck's journey, I think that you're going to hear how closely our journeys are aligned. Both of our organizations have long histories, both are built on strong values, and both believe in progress is driven by our people. At Epiroc, we design our products by balancing technology, business realities, and most importantly, people. Automation isn't just about what machines can do. It's about empowering people to work smarter, safer, and with greater purpose. When autonomy is designed around people, it doesn't replace experience, it amplifies it. So why does automation matter? Like many industries, mining and construction are undergoing a fundamental transformation driven by automation. Over the past 15 years, Epiroc has progressed from onboard automation to tele-remote operations and ultimately full autonomous solutions. The evolution has consistently delivered measurable improvements in productivity, safety, and operational consistency. So let's talk about a few of the key benefits. So safety, we keep the workers out of high-risk zones and we reduce exposure to the hazardous conditions. Utilization, the mining operations must drill more meters with higher precision and meet a growing demand. And labor shortages, which we'll talk about here in a few minutes, but many of the mining and infrastructure sites are experiencing a bit of a labor shortage. Environmental regulations, so autonomy enables more efficient energy usage, reducing fuel consumption and emissions. And finally, cost reductions. With autonomous drilling, lowers the cost per meter by optimizing performance, reducing wear on the equipment, and minimizing human errors. So here's a live dashboard of the global fleet of Epiroc drills operating autonomously across 6 continents. Our first autonomous drill was launched in 2015. So what you're seeing here is not a single machine. Today, we have 162 autonomous machines operating over 34 autonomous sites. This view shows real utilization and productivity data across the fleet. It reflects performance at scale in live production environments. And this really ties back to the outcomes that Chuck highlighted earlier, efficiency and asset health. From an efficiency standpoint, autonomy delivers consistent utilization, optimized drilling performance, and measurable productivity gains. And an asset health standpoint, these systems operate within defined parameters, reducing the machine variability, lowering wear, and then extending the asset life. So for me, one of the most interesting stats on this chart is that the autonomous drills have racked up over 400 years worth of autonomous drilling since 2015. Autonomous equipment demand, it's growing at unprecedented rates. The autonomous mining market is set to nearly triple by 2033 to almost $12 billion. And today, autonomous drills account for nearly 30% of the autonomous equipment sold. Similarly, the construction market is growing significantly, and that's projected to reach $26 billion by 2030. And we expect that the trend and the demand for autonomous equipment is going to run deep into the construction and infrastructure markets. So with the accelerating development of AI and automation, many people across the industries are asking the same fundamental question: what will the role be what will their role be in the future? Sometimes we hear comments like automation just costs jobs and technology makes people redundant. These reactions are natural, and it's important to acknowledge that these comments reflect a very human response to uncertainty and rapid change. When technology advances quickly, it's natural to wonder where you fit in the process. It's natural to question whether automation creates opportunity or just replaces it. So the empowerment driver that Chuck talked about earlier, it's about associate growth and support. It's about shifting the work towards higher skilled roles, and it's about creating new capabilities in data analysis, system supervision, performance optimization, and digital planning. When autonomy is implemented correctly, it does not remove purpose, it redefines it. The operator does not disappear, the operator evolves with the technology. So now let's come back to people and availability. We're in the middle of a silver tsunami, and this is an experience drain that impacts mining and construction projects especially hard because so much of the work depends on hands-on operators in the field and field leadership. In the mining industry, for example, the Society for Mining, Metallurgy, and Exploration has estimated that by 2029, about half of today's mining workforce could be retired, or about 220,000 jobs here in the US. And on the technical side, Deloitte has highlighted that nearly 50% of mine engineers could reach retirement age in the next 10 years. And construction and infrastructure, it's facing the same wave. The Associated Builders and Contractors projects that the industry needs to attract roughly 350,000 people this year and another 450,000 people next year just to keep up with current demand. And from a broader infrastructure workforce, the US Bureau of Labor Statistics has estimated that over the next 10 years, that 1.7 million workers in the construction and mining industry will leave their jobs each year. And that's a level of churn that you have a really hard time of hiring your way out of. So our strategy isn't to replace every operator we lose. It's about enabling employees to do more than they ever have before. If the silver tsunami retires 50% of our workforce, we aren't replacing operators, we're giving them the tools needed to grow. And the good news is the technology has finally evolved to solve the challenges that we're faced with today. So we can use modern tools to standardize best practices, reduce exposures in the field, and make the job safer and more repeatable over time. Because this is the point, we're not just improving the process, we're protecting the person. We're using technology to honor our core value of safety and to help fewer people do the work with more confidence, consistency, and care. So before discussing some solutions, we want to acknowledge additional challenges and changes that the industry is facing. So we just discussed the silver tsunami, and we also need to acknowledge that many of our customers are facing a growing skills gap. At the same time, a lot of sites are operating multiple mixed fleets from multiple OEMs, and that increases the need for a seamless integration. And in parallel, the amount of data generated by equipment continues to grow. While this creates opportunities, it also increases the cognitive load. Operators and supervisors are expected to process, filter, and act on these large amounts of data, often under a time pressure and without direct physical feedback from the machines. So the technology can solve many of these challenges. However, if we focus solely on the hardware and software, we risk overlooking one of the most critical elements, and that's the people. Automation, when designed responsibly, can make work more engaging, meaningful, and human-centered. And this is why people are at the core of everything that we design and develop.
So what is the human response to the work that we're doing? Well, there's fear. There's fear that we're phasing out jobs. There's fear for some that I could lose my job. These are fears that are often seen when new technology is adopted. And today, those fears are driven by advances in automation, in AI, and in robotics. Fear of this nature that could affect our livelihoods is natural and normal, but it can also be overcome. I'd like to tell Jason Herald's story. Last year, when Luck and Epiroc decided to partner on this autonomous drilling journey, we at Luck knew that the drilling team was the first team that we needed to communicate this with, because they would be the ones that would be most directly impacted. So we pulled the team together. We talked about the technology, the nature of the trial, and our vision for the future. We left plenty of time for the team members to ask questions, to be curious, to challenge what we were proposing, and express their concerns. This was about 5 months before the trial was slated to begin. Jason Herald's one of our highly skilled drillers. He's a career driller, in fact. He started his career in the water well business before he joined Luck 6 years ago as a driller for us. That afternoon, after the meeting, Jason went to a supervisor, our drilling foreman, and he said, "This autonomy trial sounds really cool, but it's not for me." He said, "I like my job because it's hands-on, I like being in the field, and I'm not an office person." He went on to ask if maybe there could be some other job for him in the future. Maybe as a mechanic. He liked mechanical work, he's good at it. As time went by, over the next few weeks, Jason said he never had an aha moment, but he became more interested in the autonomous operator role as time went by. He could see that this trial was coming with or without him. He began to realize that this might be an opportunity for him to learn some new skills and grow in new ways. And he was selected as our primary operator for this trial. Jason says of himself that once he decides to do something, he's all in, jumping in with both feet, so to say. Now that he's been operating and monitoring this rig for the last couple of months, he says he's proud that his name is attached to the project. He says this is personal now. He's going to do all that he can to make sure that this project succeeds. When his friends and family ask him what's it like in his new role, he says in some respects, it's kind of like playing a video game. In other respects, it can be really challenging. This is really different from operating the rig from the seat. When technical challenges arise, he needs help and support from others. When he was operating from the seat, if a mechanical issue arose, he was generally able to solve that. Now, if there's a network issue, that's a whole different animal. Operating the drill from the cab can be fairly isolating for operators. He appreciates the new perspective that this role gives him. He says that he can now see better how the work that he does ties into the bigger picture. He knows that he's potentially shaping the way that this work is done at Luck, now and in the future. And who knows, maybe even shaping the direction that the industry is headed. He is here today, actually in this room. He's here at CONEXPO, and really cool. It's really cool that while he's here, he is operating/monitoring our drill that's in Richmond, Virginia, from the show floor from Epiroc's booth. So what an opportunity that is. As a leader at Luck, I feel like it's my responsibility to make sure that our associates are ready for the work of the future. And projects like this help us all build skills that get us ready for whatever's coming next. I mentioned earlier that there are safety implications for what we're doing. The nice thing about autonomous drilling is it reduces the time significantly that an operator spends on the mine face. Traditionally, the operator spends the majority of a shift working on the mine bench, exposed to the hazards there. These are hazards such as mobile equipment working in the area. There are drop-offs at the crest when we're drilling frontline holes, like the video is showing now. If you're drilling backline holes, you might be near the base of high walls where there could be a falling material hazard. They're also exposed to vibration, noise, and dust, and slip and trip hazards on the bench. An autonomous drilling solution does not completely remove the operator from the field. Some functions still have to be performed at the drill. These are things like pre-shift checks, fueling and lubing the equipment at the beginning of the shift, adding water to the tanks, checking and cleaning the sensors. You still have to check the hole depths and add collar tubes, and changing drill bits. Although that last one may become a thing of the past because auto bit changers are on the horizon. The amount of time that the driller needs to spend on the bench, it can be reduced by 80% or more. And when work does need to be done at the drill, it can be in an area of the driller's choosing, the lowest hazard, safest area available, away from the bench, for example.
Thanks, Chuck, for sharing the inspiring story about Jason. The dedication and commitment that Jason has demonstrated so far with the project, it's commendable. And we look forward to seeing where Jason and the Luckstone team take drill automation in the future. It was really cool seeing Jason show up to work here in Vegas to perform his job out in Virginia this morning. So when designing automation, there are two fundamental aspects around people that must be considered. These are human-centered design and human system integration, which are embedded in the way that we develop Epiroc automation solutions. So first up is the human-centered design. This ensures that we deeply understand users, their tasks, their context, and what we design solutions around and their context, and that we design solutions around the real human needs. And then human systems integration. This complements it by addressing how people, technology, training, procedures, and organizational structures all align and work together as a complete system. At Epiroc, these principles aren't theoretical. Customer clinics, product validation, trials are integral parts of our development process. They allow us to learn directly from the operators, supervisors, and service personnel about what truly matters in the day-to-day job. And our R&D teams, they draw inspiration from industries that have operated really complex, safety-critical systems for decades. They leverage publicly available research and frameworks from organizations such as NASA and the Department of War. By applying these principles, we can systematically address staffing, competence development, human factors, and safety, ensuring that the technology embraces human performance rather than overwhelming it. So drill automation is framed similar to the automotive model. Level 0 is a manual operation, moving up to level 5, which is full autonomy. As you move from level 0 to level 5, the system takes on increasing responsibility for execution and decision-making. At Epiroc, our definition of autonomous drilling covers the entire drill pattern with the defined operational design domain, not just a single hole or a single row. And value is measured on the reliability, the efficiency, and the operational flexibility, not on a level of automation. Our baseline autonomy improves consistency, it reduces the idle time, and increases the drilling accuracy. And the larger gains come down the road when the machine capability, the site processes, and the systems are integrated and aligned. So our technology objective is to maximize autonomous operating time and efficiency.
So what does this journey through automation look like for Luck, specific to the drilling process? Well, 5 years ago, we were at level 0 with no level of automation in this part of our workflow. Then, over the last few years, through the adoption of the whole navigation system and the Smart Rock Drill's auto drill functionality, we moved into level 1 and level 2 operator assistance and partial autonomous. Level 3, conditionally autonomous, was the mode that we were in after the autonomous drill had arrived and we were going through the commissioning process. And where we are today, our current state is highly autonomous. Today, the drill will set up on a hole, drill the hole, pull out of it, move to the next hole, and repeat the process, all with little to no intervention from the operator. That defines a highly autonomous state for us. Our desired future state is that the drill continues working, executing the drill plan after everyone has gone home, similar to the way that our automated plants run. This is a state that we're going to be testing and trying over the next year.
So let me now illustrate what this looks like in practice when we connect autonomous equipment, a drill rig in this case, with common solutions like our common automation platform or Link OA that are designed to support operators in the control rooms by improving their situational awareness, their decision-making, and the overall control of the drill. By combining the intelligent automation with clear, intuitive interfaces, we reduce the physical exposure while increasing the operator's ability to understand what is happening across the operation in real time. Automation not only improves the operator experience, in some cases, it has been a key enabler in creating entirely new roles. So, for example, at the Codelco mine in Peru, a group of local people were hired with no prior experience in mining or drilling, and they were trained as control room operators. Through a structured training program, they quickly developed the required skills and operational understanding to operate a fleet of autonomous drills at the site. Today, their contribution forms part of an operation that ranks among the most effective and productive within the country, and their productivity and efforts are also recognized at a global level. This is a powerful example of how automation, when designed with the people in mind, can elevate both operational performance and the human experience at work. As automation changes the nature of work, we work with our customers to ensure that they have the proper skills and knowledge required to operate the autonomous systems. Across our operations, we see roles evolving rather than disappearing. Operators, controllers, and service personnel have been moved from very hands-on repetitive tasks towards roles that require higher levels of system understanding, analytical thinking, and collaboration at the site. So with technology comes the need for training as job roles get redefined. A successful autonomous implementation will require structured training programs, digital tools, and close collaboration within the site and with the customer. We support this transition as part of our implementation blueprint, ensuring that people are equipped not only to operate the automated systems, but to trust them, manage them, and continuously improve upon them. When structured properly, automation becomes a catalyst for professional growth and long-term capability building, rather than a threat to any employment. So the new standard. Technology is transforming industries and really all aspects of our lives. We are committed to empowering our people with leading-edge technology, protecting our employees by removing them from exposures in the field, and increasing machine utilization and efficiency, and ultimately lowering the total cost of ownership.
We at Luck are excited to continue this partnership with Epiroc, and we look forward to what the future may bring. Jason, who I mentioned earlier, is at the show, and he's available much of the day, each day through Thursday at the Epiroc booth if anybody would like to stop by and ask him questions or understand his experience further. Ron and I are happy to answer questions after this session in the area just outside the room. Thank you very much for your attention.